Their constantly keep getting broken because they're not getting used for 9 months straight. And during the checkups, of course, you start noticing they start to fuck up because they haven't been used for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
He comes over there and he fixes it.
We're live.
No, it's
Yeah. No.
are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay.
Today, welcome.
Kind of
Hi,
hope that.
we're coming at you live from wherever the fuck we are. How you lads doing there in chat?
We're coming you live from Siberia.
Worst place in the world. Probably way
No
better
one's
than
ever
LA,
gonna
if I'm saying
that.
correctly.
Yeah, but no one's ever going to expect a bunch of assholes to be in Siberia.
Only bears. Bears are not assholes. You know what
That's
I
true.
mean? Oh hey, sorry, Settling is here. Very odd to be here sometimes. Like I haven't only see his ass in Lolly server. That's all. So anyway, Lone, tell us all what we're talking about tonight.
Yeah, sadly, our control not here today. He actually wanted to talk about the whole Canada stuff, and my God, was that a shock?
It just got. You mean blackface Trudeau?
Yep.
He fucking.
He went like a pussy. He went like a pussy every time there was something coming close to him. Like every time there was any sort of threat, and every time he pulled the thread, he just immediately escaped. Like he says the word, escapes back to his bumfuck safe house somewhere that people I've known a few people who actually knew where
There he is.
oh, Actel's here.
Yo, what's up?
You were saying,
What's
Alex?
up, bro?
What are we talking about?
We're starting talking about Canada because you weren't here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I had something come up. My bad.
It's fine.
Yeah,
It's no problem.
bro, no problem.
Everybody
We're
has
good here.
schedule and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'm lucky. I'm lucky that it's basically lucky that here it's basically 10 p.m. So it's basically nighttime. Nothing to worry about.
Ah, okay. I just got home.
From school?
Yep.
Yeah, so the whole Canada situation, there's like, well, it's for safety and all that. It's they're destroying the economy and all that. I'm like, you fuckers were destroying the economy. These guys just accelerated it, and then when your livestock, when your money threatened, when your productivity is threatened, you basically just throw shit at the wall. But with Trudeau, he started lining people up and was like, your bank account is frozen, your bank account is frozen. Hey, those animals that you have in your trucks, we're taking them. And if you don't get them back within 8 days, we're going to execute them.
Well, it just goes to show you how fucking politically biased and fucking, like, double standards they are. Where
Yeah.
you had BLM and Antifa and all those other groups, like, affiliated groups, who were literally going around burning down businesses, burning down cities, fucking assaulting and killing people even. And fucking
he
Trudeau
just
went
opens
out.
the gate.
Yeah, Trudeau went out and fucking took a photo shoot with him.
He
But
sucked a cock while black-faced.
exactly. And
Yeah, that's the kind of guy. I mean, they also just went around and stole their fucking gasoline and extinguished fire. Well, we know damn well that in Canada it's cold as shit. Just to say,
Yeah.
go home. You do not violate the sanctity of the great Trudeau. He has never done nothing wrong. It's basically the great He's basically trying to turn, these people who are supposed to run the country and just do their job into living saints. Like good old.
The whole fucked up thing is he enacted emergency power, so he was able to get away with this. And then like, oh well, we have 7 days to do this, and then the Congress got together, or the fucking Parliament got together, and was like, yeah, totally, let's do this. Let's give him even more power. Nothing wrong can happen. So they expanded it 10 days further after the 7 days are up.
I love democracy.
And then they're going
I
to
love the
extend it for
Republic.
21 days, and then they're going to extend it for another 2 weeks. See, this is the kind of thing that makes people, that fools people because they keep thinking, oh, it's just gonna be some more of this, or it's just gonna be a little bit more of that.
I mean, it's really just one of those things where it's like they're trying to go around saying that these truckers, which on the fire subject, by the way, it wasn't even like, you know, just like dumpster fires or barrel fires. These were like actual, you know, like well kept, well, like very safe, just fires, like campfires and
fire
shit.
pits. Yeah,
Fire pits, yeah.
These are
And
people, yeah, you know, being honest to God, fucking cool ass people.
yeah, and I mean, you like, there's plenty of evidence out there that just tells you like these people they don't have really a violent bone in their body. They haven't been assaulting anyone. I don't even think I've like clashed with police at all, or if they did, it was purely retaliatory because you had that whole situation where you literally had Canadian police running over people on their fucking horses. They ran over a fucking woman in a wheelchair or like a mobility scooter.
They ran over grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ran over grandma. Who fucking does it?
Grandma got run over by
Grandma got ran over by the Mounties. She was protesting to her heart's degree, but Trudeau saw that was in disagree, so he said those mighty Mounties. Oh, Mounties.
As much as we joke about it, it's actually like really fucked up.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, like,
mechanism. It's a coping mechanism because we live in such a fucked up world, and we just live in it.
Yeah.
We ain't nothing we can do unless we get called names.
As much as they want to be like, oh, these truckers are fascists and blah blah blah, because like they had like what was it, like a couple Nazi flags or some shit that were freshly unfolded.
One. It was like one
flag.
Confederate flag, and that was a fact.
One flag to call us completely fascist. Then should we call about the hundreds of hammer and sickles of red flags of communist states and other bullshit like that basically have killed more than fascism and Nazism combined tenfold. We're gonna talk about that? Oh no, because apparently they're biased.
No, bro, because true communism has never happened, bro.
My communism, but my socialism, but my credit.
Fuck your communism, fuck your socialism. Go eat a dick and Brett Line.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. But yeah, and I saw the fucking flag. It was freshly unfolded.
It's the same shit that happened in Charlottesville. Like,
yeah.
I remember seeing one from James something. I think it was James Alsop back in the day when I was in my alt-righty days, kind of cringe days. But
your Nazi phase.
Yep, he basically pointed out the same shit. How a guy who was going around in this, in this Charlottesville thing, he just had this flag flying around, and you could easily see that it was freshly unfolded, like it was all kept in a tight box. Just open it immediately, put it in, wave it around for like 10 minutes, and then just fuck back off into the unmarked vans.
Yeah, which I mean, at that point, it's like, if they were actually like a fucking like hardcore neo-Nazi or some shit, the flag would be well worn. It wouldn't be like fresh out of the box, you know?
No, because I know these kind of people. They are the kind of people who want to wear this shit on their arms. Like, they got tattoos, they got shirts that say obvious dog whistles, they have all of this.
Yeah,
and,
they're the type of ones to literally wear their fucking swastika on their sleeve. Like, they ain't really just gonna be like running like one little flag around and doing nothing else. That's not how they are.
Yeah.
No, it's not like they appear out of nowhere, and that sort of shit just happens. That's how the media wants to sell it. Just, oh look, there's that alt-right guy.
And what astounds me, right, is that they're trying to throw all these accusations against these truckers and shit for that, even though they've been doing literally nothing but peacefully protesting. To the point they even taken care of the kids while they do it. They have fucking little like hot tubs. They have bounce castles and shit. Yet it's the Canadian government that's acting more and more fascist by the day.
They were feeding the homeless and all that.
Yeah, well, yeah, they were feeding the homeless and taking care of them and shit. And then you have these officers who came in with no, like, they took all the fucking name tags and identification off. They came
Yeah, it's like
in
they
and they
were
just
like
started fucking
military
beating
grade.
people. Yeah. Like, they were dead ass fucking beating people who were already on the ground. And it's
Yeah,
fucked
they're
up.
like, oh, you have to go home and all that. She's like, I'm trying to get a coffee. Well, you can't be here. I was like, wow, that's fucking.
And the thing is, it's like most of these people are Canadian. They are local, or they came in from other places to support the protests for Canada.
I'm
Yep.
sorry, I speak some French. So I would have told him, suck a baguette.
Suck a oui, suck me baguette. Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
Sorry, I don't speak cheese it and surrender monkey.
but yeah, I mean, it's a fucking shit show. I'm honestly surprised that like it's even been allowed to fucking
oh yeah,
fly with this shit. It's actually shocking me.
All this happened because Trudeau didn't want to say, okay, we're not making the vaccines mandatory for truckers.
he took off the fucking. He didn't go like he said he would talk to them and all that. He didn't. He just went straight up, all right, arrest them, done.
Yeah, he hid out in his fucking bunker and then ordered everyone to go fucking arrest him and shit and take their animals, their pets, and threaten them to fucking
They're doing
execute
the
them.
bank accounts.
Yeah,
Especially
stopping
with
all
the
the bank
gasoline.
accounts, cut funding to the movement. Like, they didn't do any of that shit with BLM when they were going around rioting and shit.
Oh no, you don't understand. They're the resistance. We're supporting them because they're the resistance. They're the guys who are out there who would definitely finally made sign, who are not taken out of a van
Yeah.
from from actually doing the right thing for supporting a
have you
criminal
guys-
who got killed by the police.
Yeah.
Have you guys looked into the
resistance-
guy who's released the information on the donors? Like,
Oh yeah, where they got
he's
fucking news
fucked.
reporters going around harassing fucking people who they found donated to the movement.
which is a federal crime, actually. That's
Yeah. Fucking
and the guy was
talk
like,
about violating
I
privacy.
released the documents. It was me. I was like, congratulations, you asked yourself, and now you're going to get sued. Congratulations, fuck boy.
Oh god,
Yeah,
that dude. Oh
yeah,
my
that-
god, that man
People
has
don't understand.
mental
Oh,
illness.
I want to hear what Lone has to say.
Yeah, the dude has mental illness. The dude was literally like screaming on top of his lungs. He's like, "It was me. I was the one who did it. I'm the one who created." I'm like, okay, yeah, of course, shocker.
Yeah.
If
I
he actually,
agree. Yeah.
he might have some merit about that one.
Okay, I can definitely see him plead for insanity because he might definitely
What
be.
And what he was doing, like, he's been on newscasts before talking about hacking and all that. Through America and all that. There's no way he was like, I plead insanity because I was off my meds. Nope, not working.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see him trying, but definitely his ass is going to the pounder.
It just
I can definitely
astonishes me how blatant and fucking ballsy they are nowadays with that. Where it's like
And
they
you
don't
know
even
what?
care what people think anymore.
But if I start yelling, I'm the one who tickled the dicks, I get it canceled and all that. But when a leftist Arnalco screams it to his lungs, I doxed a fuck ton of people. Everyone's like, cool story, bro. Needs more dragons.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah,
It's that whole
Yeah,
thing of the
people.
huge fucking double standard. Even down to Trudeau's like tweets and shit, where during all the BLM stuff, he was like, yeah, we need to listen to these protesters, and the whole thing about protests is that they're meant to cause disruption or something. Or it was some other person that said the thing about disruption.
We're doing the
But
same
he was
thing.
basically saying like, yeah, we need to hear them out and listen, and that's the whole thing about protests. Then once this trucker shit happens, he immediately flips completely to the other side of the spectrum, where all of a sudden he's like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, no, these protests, they're illegal, they're bad, we need to put an end to them, they're a threat to our country, blah, blah, blah. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Oh wow! I wonder if I said the same thing about the Okay, we talk about this right now. I'm just sound like a broken disc. They are biased piece of shit, and we should call them out every goddamn second because we're getting tired.
And
Are we?
then do what? We call them out, and then
Yeah.
everyone's like, yeah, and
Nobody
We
gives
have-
a shit.
we have to
You
hit them
show
hard.
them. You fucking show them, and at least say into their faces, this happened. Then
No.
why the fuck hasn't he done the same thing? Because this is just pissing me off, honestly.
Well,
I
You-
goddamn
I'll
hate
tell you one
double
thing.
standards.
I'll tell you one thing. With how things are right now, getting all fucking rowdy about it and like actually trying to go out and start some shit that isn't like, you know, the trucker movement where it's all peaceful and shit. Yeah, I'd highly advise against that. I'd say just continue, like, keep on trucking. Just keep on trucking.
Free Hong Kong.
Yep.
Free Hong
Free
Kong.
Hong Kong. I just got
Free
Well, I
Hong
mean, if I want people to have a good discussion with me, that's all I want. I want to have a good discussion, prove my point, because I'm putting it out because it happened. It's really there. Why the fuck are people blind? Or at least I hope they're not blind and they're just, you know, they're doing the same thing. They're keeping on trucking. But I want people to actually tell him collectively to fuck up. I'm not telling him what to do any sort of violence. Just vocally go up to him and tell him to fuck off.
That's what people have been doing. The problem
Yeah.
is they've got so much fucking authority and control,
Security.
they don't give a shit. Yeah.
It's not a parliament country anymore. It's a fucking dictatorship, and we all have to welcome dictator blackface into it with welcome arms. And
Yeah, by the way, Lone, if you see anything about Trudeau, like the blackface, if you got like an image of that, you gotta put that in the stream.
It's
I
fucking
might do that.
it's
actually didn't.
him with his mouth wide open, tongue hanging out, like Jesus Christ. We have to spread that image around everything.
Far and wide. We need to spread that shit far and wide. Just to say,
Because-
this is your dictator.
Because some guy did blackface and they canceled him. So hey, let's cancel Trudeau because blackface is wrong.
Right?
Or are we gonna
He's
have
a-
another
He
episode of
ain't
double
even just
standard?
some guy. He's a public figure. He's a
He's a
prominent
politi-
politician.
His words have influence on people's lives and can hurt
Exactly.
people.
Yep.
That was the same thing about the guy who was cancelled. Now was he? Now was he?
Yeah.
He was.
Mm.
The whole situation is fucking.
Yeah, someone in chat pointed out
Now
that
this sounds like a mighty fine case of double standards if I ever seen one. We don't want any double standards, don't
It's
we?
not double standards. It's fucking one-sided standards. They want to make the far right this new neo-Nazi group about how the far right bully children. They don't care about you
Well-
black people. They don't care about you Asians. They don't care about you Mexicans and all that. All they care about is white supremacy. Now, come over here. We can talk about how underprivileged you are and how the system is all fucked up. Now, please donate some money so we can fight this oppression.
Well, I'll
It
tell you
turns
what
out
it is.
this money was being taken to Epstein child diddling fucking fuckboy island. Yeah, my bad. I promise it won't happen again. 36
hold on,
times
hold on.
later is not my mistake.
I'll tell you what it is. And now some people might think this is a bit outlandish, but
not to cut
If
you
you
off,
think
not to
about
cut
it-
you off, but apparently someone in chat pointed out that Trudeau might revoke the Emergencies Act. I'm reading a little article right now, and there's a possibility that he might do that
Okay.
though. But I
Right
think he's
now-
only doing that just because he's only doing that because the protests
The
are over
backlash-
because
the backlash he's receiving.
he's either that
He's
or
not-
because they're letting down. I have to look into that because
I
he's
think
been
it's
doing
he's trying.
borderline
I mean,
Hitler
no,
shit for the last
if
couple
you can
days.
just whip them out for that reason without having like any like real justifiable reason, because that's not something you should be whipping out emergency powers for, like a protest like that, where it's not even a
No.
violent one. Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's basically setting the precedent that he can just whip out those powers anytime he wants.
Emergency powers to the
And-
Supreme Chancellor.
To continue, yeah, right. To
Please don't
continue
do
what
that.
I was saying, these are basically what you were just describing was basically just textbook Nazi fucking tactics, where you gotta, or even communist tactics, where you basically paint your enemy out to be the worst, horrible person ever, like how the Nazis blamed the Jews for everything, saying that, you know, they were horrible people.
They're
and
using
were
their Joel
reason why-
magic.
the reason why everything was going wrong and why Germany was in such a bad state That's what they
Also
did.
known
They
as
fueled the public up. That I mean, that's literally what most of fucking Hitler's speeches were all about. Was turning people against this group of people so that he could have a legitimate quote unquote reason to get into power. Because people, you get them turned against this one group. Next thing you know, everybody wants someone to do something about this group. So they
that's how you
elect
get
someone who
Kristallnacht.
promises will do something about it.
That's how you get Kristallnacht, but we call those BLM protests now.
I mean, yeah, and like you can Antifa protesters and rioters to say the brown shirts,
Yeah.
where they went out and they caused as much chaos, violence, and fear into people's hearts as they could.
Or how about comparing them to the black shirts of my country, where if someone was acting a bit outside of the Mussolini message, they'll go over there with sticks, beat the shit out of him, make him drink purge oil, to just make him by just making him brown his pants and humiliate the fuck out of him, and sometimes just beat him within an inch of his life,
Yeah,
just to send a message.
I
Not
mean,
kill him.
and
Send a
that,
message.
that's just a personal little theory of mine, but I'm just saying this is very similar to what has happened historically in politics in the past.
I mean, Stalin, Mussolini, Rasputin.
Yeah, and of
Uncle
course
Adolf.
Hitler,
Good old Uncle Adolf.
pretty much. I mean, yeah, it's just, yeah, it's, ooh, it's rough.
Socialism is a fucking cancer in our society. Marx should have died in the middle of a street.
All that shit is socialism, communism, fascism. It's all fucking. It needs to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck those
Authoritarianism
utilitarian-
in general.
Yeah. I feel you. I understood that the hard way.
Yeah.
Cause I'm gonna tell you about my actual years when I was a fascist, when I was like 18, 19 years old, and I was all balls deep into that alt-right bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I was into that. I was into the idiotic belief that, there was a thing about race and all that shit. I was constantly on pole, and there was all this dumb shit.
Oh yeah,
Also
because you're
because-
young and dumb and didn't know any better. That's. I mean,
Basically,
yeah.
basically, my father is a constant fence sitter who doesn't give a shit about anything as long as he keeps his job that gives him money. And my mother just doesn't care because, she's a woman. She's not so. I mean, I'm saying her word. She's a woman. I'm not. I don't care.
Yeah. She
those are
literally
basically
said,
her-
"I'm a woman. I don't care."
Basically, she just cares about the house, her friends, cooking, now gardening, just things that, as in her life. Politics for her just outside of her sphere of consciousness.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
just-
get that. She just ain't interested in politics. That's something she leaves other people
Understandable.
up to, and yeah, that's very understandable. Because I fucking hate politics as much as I talk about them. Boy, do I hate them.
maybe because mom also had an experience where my grandpa was a fucking communist and just had
Oh,
to drag
yeah.
me along.
Yeah, I could definitely understand why she got real fucking tired of that.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
maybe because it was just constant tiring. And here in Italy, politics are absolutely a fucking joke. Also because ever since the
And-
First Republic scandal of everyone being corrupt as fuck, and there was the Clean Hands Tribune, where it was basically just the High Court just judging every last one, especially the Prime Minister, of being all bribed bitches and being this thing being extremely televised. It just gave a big bad aura to any sort of politics happening. And then with other figures today that have been constantly ridiculed and shitted on, nobody gives a shit about politics because we all know they're stealing our money.
Man, don't
fuck
even
everything.
feel bad, because that's just world politics in general at this point. It's a fucking circus.
Yeah.
It's
And
all
Trump-
one giant shit show. I mean, did any of you
And-
watch the UN summit or whatever it was, UN meeting?
Never even know it
Uh,
exists.
There was a UN live stream meeting, and funnily enough, they had chat on the entire time.
Oh god!
It
Oh
was
no!
fucking
No.
hilarious. And
Why-
yeah, I watched like pretty much the whole thing. I watched part of it, well, good chunk of it myself, and then Sorted was streaming, so I went ahead and hopped on his stream.
Wait,
Same
who
with
does-
plug for Sorted Sentinel,
Oh, dang it!
twitch.tv.com.
Oh,
Um,
shit. For real?
yeah.
Join later, eventually.
But anyway, so yeah, I watched it. It was just a fucking circus. I mean, you had the African countries who were just sitting there calmly talking shit the whole time because they know they ain't gonna get in any issue with it because they're like so far out of the fucking picture with Russia and Ukraine that they don't care. And then you had
They're just gonna
like
continue
all
those-
these different
they're all-
countries.
They're just gonna continue those 100-year-old blood feuds because my tribe is better than yours. Fuck you, eat a dick.
I don't even think it was about that. It was just like the fact that, oh, I get to sit at the table. Okay, I'm gonna just talk some real mad shit. Like, so
Real niggas talking mad shit over
Hey, yo,
here.
this guy's stupid. Hey, yo, this meeting's due. Can I get a poggers in the chat?
and then you had all the other UN countries sitting there, of course, you know, dogpiling Russia and all this and that.
Yeah.
And then Russia took the fucking stand after he let everyone else talk. It was Russia, then Ukraine. Well, Ukraine, then Russia, then Ukraine again. So Russia takes a stand. And the Russian representative just fucking, like, whipped his big old fucking dick out to his credit. And just started talking mad shit about all this and that. And it got to the point where it looked over at the Ukrainian representative, and I shit you not, he was sweating fucking bullets. Like, it was bad.
Damn.
Yeah. And then Ukraine started talking, and the Ukraine representative, he was just acting like such a bitch. I hate to like shit talking and all, but like that's the truth of it. I hate to take Russia's side and all that, but Ukraine was just talking like a bitch. And then after it was over, they adjourned it like right after. And Ukraine, like the Ukraine representative got up and like just started fist bumping all the UN members. Like he fist bumped Albania, he fist bumped the US, the UK, and like one or two other countries. And then that was pretty much it. But yeah, Chad was fucking wild doing that whole thing.
Oh, yeah. I bet it was.
Anyway, this still represents how fucking useless the UN is. It's just pure.
There's this comedy sketch, right? It's like, is your house protected? Don't worry, we have here at the UN protection. We will protect your house, and we will monitor everything the burglar steals. We will watch him carefully and jot down everything he does, and if he doesn't stop, we will give him a worldly lemon. Now, since he's stolen more stuff, we will give him money for representations for what we don't know. We don't understand. And it just goes on and on. If he continues stealing, we will actually put him on our council.
Yeah, I remember
It's a-
seeing that back in the
What,
day.
what about that shit on the council? The fuck is that about?
I don't.
Oh yeah, Sorted's on here. Hey Sorted. It said, first words of the Ukrainian dude. It is with great reluctance I remove my mask, which would have been brilliant if it was a metaphor, but he literally took his COVID mask off. He also said, Ukrainian dude looked at that gif of Key and Peels with the bucket of water rolling down his face.
Pussy.
UN Security Council is literally headed by the Russians in Lamau. And then Ghana being like, we don't want to get involved in either side for 5 minutes straight. Oh, and thank you, much appreciated. No problem, Sorted.
Hey, Sorted, if you're still here, I'm just saying. How about you invite us somewhere there? You know, just gonna have fun, play videos, shit like that. You know, maybe I'll invite you here sometimes if you want to. You're cool with it.
Sorted also said Germany is a very intense, intelligent country that, much like Japan, doesn't really know when they've had enough.
Yeah, that is true.
I don't get it.
Yeah, Germany was actually like I don't even know how to describe it. It was just it was weird seeing them talking what they were talking about.
You didn't understand a thing, right?
I also kind of forgot. Sorted could probably tell you more about it.
I talk to him
It's
later then. So yeah, you guys in America, get ready for this shit, cause get ready for your own version of the truckers, cause shit's gonna go down.
yeah, I've heard that Americans are actually kind of taking inspiration from the truckers in Canada, which I think is pretty.
And I
cool.
full-heartedly agree with that.
Yeah.
Hey,
So a kid told me at school today. I have no idea if this is true or not. Lone, maybe you can search it up. I heard that Russia officially declared war on Ukraine last night or yesterday.
they,
Yeah, I heard
they went over
something
the
about
borders.
that.
They're running around. Like I hear that shit on TV.
Okay.
Like apparently they hopped the border and they're already going around some cities. I don't know if there was some shot fired or I'm pretty sure they were or some other shit, but apparently they're just doing the same shit they did in Ukraine back in the 2010s. It's the same shit that happened in Crimea. Same thing, same reason, same modus operandi.
Okay. From Sorted as well. I don't really have any guests on my stream, but I'd be down sometime. Hell yeah, brother.
Oh fuck yeah, my bro. We're
Um,
watching you next time. We're just having some fun next time.
yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be sweet.
Fuck
But
alone.
here's what I don't really
Uh,
understand, I guess.
What?
Why is the UN even getting involved with Ukraine if Ukraine isn't even part of the UN?
that's the
Because-
thing. It's the UN.
Yeah,
That's
true.
it.
They,
It's
they,
the UN.
they just like getting
That's
into
what I
wars,
could totally
don't they?
understand, especially on the European side, because let me get my map here. Like I'm actually gonna pick up my book map here and go to that specific part because I know especially that on this side of Russia, on the Black Sea, is that around this side a lot of oil ducts pass through it, and basically go everywhere, even
Yeah.
especially in the European side. That's why Germany's getting in there balls deep. Because if this is blocked, if things get sour, they ain't getting any oil, and the price will just go up through the roof, and people will probably have to go out and burn wood, since they had that really smart idea of shutting down their nuclear power plants. Because apparently they're dangerous and a threat for the environment.
Even though they're healthier for the environment than most other
And oh
environmental
my god.
power sources.
Speaking about nuclear power and all that, when someone's like, what about that smoke that's coming off the towers and all that? That has to be bad for the environment. I'm like, bitch, that's
what
water
it
vapor.
literally just water
That's
vapor.
water vapor.
Yeah,
That's
It's like,
literally
nah.
steam.
that's
She-
literally just a result from nuclear power heating up the water and evaporating it.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I
that's
told
what they
her, and she's
use
like,
to
I
cool
won't
the
believe
plant.
your lies. I've read books. I've read it, and I was like, she's like, have you not heard about the Chernobyl incident? And I was like, yeah, that
That
was
was-
failure on communism.
Yeah, literally.
That was
They
a complete
mismanaged it to the
failure.
point it caused a fucking nuclear meltdown.
Oh yeah.
because idiots kept pushing the thing, and just idiots kept pushing this thing. They were trying to do this thing rushed. They ignored any sort of safety precautions because they had to do this test and keep up the quotas.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the exact situation with the fucking Demon Core back in the day, where you had, at the time, they weren't exactly considering any sort of health and safety standards as far as handling this fucking nuclear bomb core, trying to get, do testing on it and shit to find out where its activation point was. Because basically, what they literally do is, stack, I forget the material, but they stack these bricks or something over top of the core so that all the atoms and stuff that would be pushed out by it
Yeah.
would bounce off and reflect off the bricks back into the core, and that's what would heat it up and cause it to produce more energy.
Hold on.
They were rushing it, and this was back at the very end of World War II, mind you. They were
It was
rushing it,
around
and
the end of the 50s, or at the beginning of the 60s.
yeah,
Yeah.
they were rushing it and disregarding all safety so much, it ended up leading to people getting fucking killed.
And discovering that radiation poisoning and any sort of this thing fucking sucks. You know,
Yeah,
they fucked around, and then they find out.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
I have a joke about
yeah,
that. And it's like, okay, I'll tell it after.
yeah, sorry, hold on. Sorted corrected something, said NATO, not UN. Because Russia didn't want a NATO state on their border, and NATO wouldn't risk pissing them off and causing Russia to build up military powers along said borders. Ironically, if they just admitted Ukraine to NATO, or yeah, if they just admitted Ukraine to NATO years ago, this never would have happened now.
Because if this would have happened, they already will go against all Europe, and it would probably ready something close to a nuclear war. And nobody fucking wants a nuclear war, because if they
Yeah.
go off, there's no more world.
I mean,
no more
we would be closer to Fallout than Fallout.
Yeah, pretty much.
basically that's
Um,
that point.
And also, so it said about the Demon Core thing. And because atomic technology, like all technology, has remained static for the past 60 years.
You
Because
sure?
because nobody wants to
sure?
develop it and all that. Like,
Yeah,
well,
because they all...
fear.
I don't even know why, honestly. I guess, yeah, fear.
Yeah, basically fear, because they don't want to be responsible for another 3 Mile Island. They don't want to be responsible for another Chernobyl. They don't want to be responsible for.
Manhattan.
Even
No.
though the likelihood of any of that happening is insanely low, unless they
Oh.
manage to horrifically mismanage it like you had with Chernobyl. And I mean,
Yep.
I guess you could also argue, well, you know, what if someone staged a terrorist attack on a nuclear power plant or something?
It takes a lot to actually get a nuclear power plant react and go. Or, like,
Yeah,
you can blow
it
it
would-
up and then it just blows it up. That's it.
Yeah, it would have to be like an inside job, like of sabotage for something like that to
Yeah,
happen.
they
And even
would
then,
literally
that-
have to.
you just keep that shit fucking secure. Like,
Or maybe prepare an emergency shutdown that, not like the AZ-5, gives a little spike before that. You know,
yeah,
maybe because of shit like that, because you can usually do that and
I mean-
convince the scientists to probably not cooperate. You know, and basically make it completely inert. And speaking about that with Sorted, I wanted to talk about thorium and nuclear cores, where
oh, well, I think
basically
Sorted
whatever you
actually-
do.
I think Sorted might have been getting onto that. I'm not sure though. He said, "I was being sarcastic. The modern era of nuclear power plants literally don't produce any nuclear waste."
And that's why I kind of want to go with another thing about my dad, because even he doesn't trust nuclear power, even though I basically tell him there's basically nothing coming out of there. It's as clean as fuck. The half-life usually of these materials are for about maybe 50 years or even more. That's about the half-life of how much they would decay and probably start producing less power.
Yeah.
50 years, and then we mine more uranium. Like, damn, this is
Oh,
something
shit.
we can.
They even have way of recycling it, where like they did with the Demon Core, they actually used the pieces from that core after it melted down catastrophically to basically make more nukes out of it. They actually
Yeah.
there's still probably nukes in reserves, like the American reserves today, that still have pieces of the Demon Core inside of them.
Ain't that
Yeah.
crazy?
And,
how
and
much-
granted, I'm no nuclear physicist or anything like that, but I mean, as far as I know, yeah. Also, Sorted said that's why the Department of Energy is approved to use military-grade weapons and equipment to guard nuclear power plants. Yeah,
Done.
pretty much.
Hey, guess what?
Basically,
What if we give the people guarding the nukes mechs?
A weapon to surpass Metal Gear.
an actual fucking Metal Gear.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. A giant mech that can shoot nukes.
Liberty Prime.
Come
They just have a bunch of Liberty Primes.
I mean,
Communism detected.
I mean,
Oh, no, American, I swear. American boy detected. Initiating American test. What is the most important thing in America? Freedom. American past.
Can we just can we, instead of that, can we just use Metal Gear Rays? That would probably be cooler.
I mean, shit, they even have non-lethal ways of just keeping people away from the fucking nukes nowadays. They got those,
Yeah.
the reflector things
Sound,
where they've
sound
got, like,
waves, lasers,
yeah, we've got, like, the little
photon
things
beams.
that are mounted on, like,
Oh.
trucks and shit. That you can, or, like, you can mount it on a turret, and you just aim it at
Jesus Christ, that's a
group of
huge-ass
people
bitch.
or a single person, and it will just, like, the heat is so intense, it doesn't hurt them, but it will get them to back the fuck off.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yep.
we've got the tech. We could really, really guard our fucking nuclear power sites well. So,
Apparently, people think that things always stay the same. It's always the same shit. It's always the same things. There is no development. It's not like the phones, where they basically where we went from the first iPhone to what I have in my hand. In what, 10 years? You know? It's not like they could probably imagine or try to fathom that maybe all those kids who are going to nuclear engineering and all those things at university, maybe they're focusing a bit more on research and development, especially after the whole fuck-ups that have happened during Chernobyl, and even that.
Yeah.
We're trying to develop even more to make sure this will
I mean,
has
if
the
you think about it, we could probably use the Hadron Collider to use as a power source.
what?
The Hadron Collider?
What is that?
It's basically they're using electromagnetic fields to accelerate particles at near light speed and slamming them into each other to create positive and dark energy. It's pretty interesting, and then they're trying to harvest the dark energy to see what they can do with it.
yeah.
And
Fascinating.
they have to suspend the dark energy in like this magnetic field. If it touches anything, they basically says it's splitting the atoms.
Yeah, that sounds a bit,
Dangerous.
I don't like fucking with antimatter. Like,
Yeah, basically,
wow.
they're fucking with antimatter, and it's one thing I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do it.
Well, that's a black base
that's
of
the
great
classic American mindset right there, boy.
That's a black
Going
base
past Liberty Times.
Let me commit crimes against nature.
Let me accelerate particles at a high velocity, slamming them to each other 1,000 times to get one particle of dark energy.
Like, wow, we've gone pretty far. Perhaps we haven't gone far enough.
No.
That's a
And
black
dark-
base that happening. I keep forgetting this shit. That's basically
It's terrifying if you think about it. Dark energy is a natural thing that occurs.
Yeah,
is
I
a-
mean,
is
I'm
a
sure
natural
out
thing
in
that
space,
occurs.
some shit that do the thing with that. Yeah,
The space is full of dark energy.
yeah.
Yeah. Full of
How
a lot of
so?
stuff
Like
that.
that's the thing that absorbs light.
Yeah, that's what black holes are. It's just
Yeah.
a massive dark energy.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, and aren't they scared that maybe we're playing with this thing and could create a black hole right here on Earth?
What could go wrong?
Yeah, if we fuck up, we know.
Just secure, contain, protect, bro. Just trust, bro. There's never gonna
Hey,
be. a
you know how
container breach,
far deep that thing is underground?
bro.
That's bad.
100 miles underground.
But what if it fucks with the Earth's core? What if it starts
It doesn't.
gravitationally?
Dude,
Holy
it doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. That's how secure this thing is. It is so stabilized. It's not
Right.
even funny.
I would fucking hope so.
I hope so too.
Just imagine you're shooting two needles at like Mach 6 at each other, and they hit every single time, 100 times in a row.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's how
Oh,
precise this shit's gotta be.
That's
I'm
why.
just sticking with nuclear. That's all. I'm just sticking with nuclear. We have more control over it. We're just boiling water over here. We're not creating natural disasters.
That's why I don't drive through Memphis. Too much dark energy. Oh God, so good.
Fucking Steven.
Oh yeah,
It's-
This is true too. There was a Boy Scout back in like the 60s who literally collected radioactive material from old school smoke detectors and wound up
I think
managing
that was
to
more like in
refine
the
it in his
90s.
backyard
I
Yeah.
think it was more like in the 90s.
somewhere
It was
in
actually
time.
No.
Yep.
We stopped using nuclear energy for smoke detectors, then switched to mercury. And then we thought that was like, oh yeah, mercury poisoning is a thing. So then
Yeah.
we released it to like this weird fucking cubic zirconium kind of fucking mix. I don't fucking
Yeah,
know.
some sort of synthetic
You
material
know.
cooked up in the lab.
Yeah.
At least
I
I
That's
think
think
so.
it.
Anyway.
so. Yep. Then there's also the other various smaller materials, and how that boy was able to fake his ass to get some other materials from actual universities and other labs. Like,
Trench has a great suggestion. Give people who guard nuclear plants T-60 power armor.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm down for fucking power. Fuck yeah, let's get the boys who guard nuclear power plants power.
Oh,
What?
on the on
And give
the
them
Boy
laser
Scout
weapons while we're at it.
on the Boy Scout subject, he never stopped. Even after the government told him to knock it off, he found other sources of radioactive material.
Sir, we need to stop you harvesting uranium from smoke detectors. I promise it won't happen again, officer. Okay.
Uranium
We have your word.
fevers got me
Jesus.
melting down.
Down. Got her tires going around uranium fever. He's sitting there fucking like harvesting it from micro tubes and all the old computers and all that.
Oh my god. That's fucking funny.
Half of his face. Now he sounds like this. You know, it's like, hey, smooth skins, how's it going?
Literally, because his final photos show him with patches of skin missing from his face and shit. He literally became a ghoul.
Oh my god, so he
Oh
actually
my
did
God.
talk like a ghoul? I love that. And you know,
Good
what's funny
God.
is me speaking like a ghoul from Fallout is actually one of my favorite voices to do because of the shit I can say with it.
Oh, that's fucked.
I do that, but it's rough on my throat.
Wait,
I do
hold on.
too.
A dude made real T-51 nuclear world power. I gotta look this shit up.
Hey, Smoothskin, we heard you got some nuclear energy over there. Well, I developed this power armor that will probably help you protect people from it. So, anyway, it's gonna be like $2 billion from all this, Smoothskin. You hear me?
I mean, that would be a great use for power armor when it comes to, like, nuclear safety. They could literally just create an exosuit chassis, right? And just have big old fucking lead plates all around, like the body, like the head, the body, the legs, hands, everywhere.
No. Tungsten.
Or tungsten, yeah.
Tungsten.
Whatever. Maybe mix them
Power
both
armor.
together. I don't fucking know. Like,
Power
Tungsten
armor
is
made out of tungsten.
yeah.
Oh,
Do you know
fuck
the thing
that.
is 10 times lighter than steel, but 10 times as dense as the iron?
And the only problem is that it has a fucking high melting point, like,
It can survive a nuclear blast.
because
It's no joke.
Because its melting point, it's over 500, it's over 5,000 degrees Celsius.
No, it's 5 Kelvin, if I remember correctly.
I remember reading that in science book. Hold on, someone's calling me.
Yeah, it's something ridiculous like Kelvin units. We can drop this shit from space and still be fine. It's called the Bunkin Buster or the Odin Cannon, and it's fucking great. They just drop 5 pounds of tungsten rods from orbit. Just
Okay, French, I need like you to send me a video link or a picture of that power armor thing. Trench also says, in your ghoul voice, say, My Little Pony is Chad. Please, for the love of God, don't.
My little pony's Chad Smoothskin.
God
Oh, fuck you.
Hey, Smoothskin, got any old smoke detectors lying around? I'm 16. Why do you ask? Takes a long drag off unfiltered cigarette.
Nobody dies from tobacco.
Hey, Smoothskins, you out there looking for uranium? I got a problem with you. As me as a 9-year-old, I have to tell you, it's not a good idea, Smoothskins.
We're too much of a blast.
Oh yeah, it hurts the throat after a while.
Yeah, it's like me and my fucking. Oh god, whenever I do impressions of fucking Yoda or some shit.
Smoothskin, I see that you need detectors of the smoke. Acquire I have, I do. Skin of the smooth, there is no do or try.
Swim in the nuclear cooling pool, I must.
The fuck did I miss?
Fountain of youth.
1, 2, 3, check. Okay, it still works.
Okay, yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Because I tugged at my.
Smoothskin, jet you have, must hit, I must.
Okay, enough of this. So, Amazon's Lord of the Rings.
Oh boy.
You mean the
Oh.
mechanical that they're like, yes, you have anything with them, you can't publish shit. Only the second era, and that's
Yeah,
it.
that's something I recently learned about. They were fucking retarded. They bought the rights to the second era, but none of the extended material.
They
Which
got the
means
rights
that
to
the
the
shit
appendices.
They're doing is their own story, and guess what? It's non-canon. Done.
Yeah.
That's fucking great.
Yeah.
They basically shot themselves in the foot and then shot themselves in the arm. Like, haha, we bought Lord of the Rings. Proceeds to read further into the contract. Oh, second era. Haha, we can do stuff with the second era. We are woke. Haha. None of this shit we post is canon. Fuck.
Yeah. So, Lone, what are your thoughts on it?
Oh boy. Yeah, it really sucks with the situation on the show because, like I said this to Vincent on his stream in chat, and I said they got like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul writers to working on it earlier. They had Tom Shippey on it, and they're all gone, and they just have a bunch of no names.
Yeah, they have a bunch of no names working on
They
this shit.
half worked on a
even-
Star Trek movie. That's all they did.
They're
They're idiots from Bad Reboot. That's all they are.
Jesus Christ.
They made sure, like, this is how unknown they are. They're the guys who capitalized every single letter after a period. That's how unknown they are.
Oh no. This thing is gonna get so forgotten so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And they made more season for it. They dumped as much money as they could on it.
Amazon dumped $1 billion in total. Lex Luthor wanted it to be Game of Thrones. Like, that's his word. You can look it up. That he just wanted Game of Thrones. Is that he
Why
doesn't
is
care.
everyone so obsessed into creating another Game of Thrones? Like, that's the thing that boggles me.
Because it was a big
watched it
show. That's why.
Yeah. I mean,
It was an alright show. I've never seen a single episode of Game of Thrones.
neither have I, and I'll be honest, I'm interested in seeing like a couple seasons of it, but it's gonna be like Walking Dead with me, where I enjoyed seasons, but after like hitting a certain season number, it just got too stupid, and I just didn't like it anymore.
You know what's even funnier? I've never
Is
seen
my
an
mic getting
episode of
better?
Walking Dead.
Or controls my mic getting better?
Yeah, you sounded a bit better. You kind of have a tendency to be a bit quiet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all good, man.
Alright.
We're still very much in the process of getting used to this whole thing.
Yeah, we are.
It's like I'm stream on my own channel and all that. If I have somebody there, I can easily bounce ideas off of that. But with me, I just say retarded shit. Just ask alone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Sorted has a point. It says, to be honest, I don't know that the writers for Breaking Bad would have done a great job with Lord of the Rings.
Better than nobody's, I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
At least they have
and Sorted
experience
also
with
said
stuff.
that- Sorted also said that first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones are legitimately very, very good. So,
Because
yeah,
George R. R.
I'll
Martin was
have to
working
check
on it at that time.
Mhm.
And those, I don't even know. It's like it's a
What's
legit
that
waste
guy?
of time. It's a legit waste of time, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, it's just a money dump at this point. It's going to be a trash fire.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we all know it. We all know it.
We're at that point where we're just too burnt out on it to even discuss it.
Yep.
But yeah, it's certainly a shit show.
Yeah, it's not a shit show. It's going to be a fucking disaster.
Yeah. But it's like, you know it's bad
Well,
when even a fucking video game that was also non-canon, fucking Shadow of
Actually,
War and Shadow of Mordor,
Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor are canon.
they are?
Not really.
Yep.
No.
They contradict a
I thought
lot. They contradict a lot.
They contradict a lot.
What I mean by canon, they actually had the son of George R. R. Martin.
Christopher Tolkien has a sign up
Tolkien.
on a lot of things, though.
Yeah, no, his son actually approved the Caliban War and all that.
Yeah, he did.
Well,
Pretty
yeah,
much, you know.
certain like characters and stuff.
He had
like
to
that,
approve
they're
the
canon.
stuff. He had to prove their uses, but it doesn't make it like canon. You can make the argument it's canon to the films, but
Yeah.
that's about it.
Yeah.
still, what's cool about that, you know.
Yeah,
it's an
but
actual
still, they
game,
did a better job than it seems like they're gonna be doing with Amazon's Lord of the Rings, especially if they're trying to just make
Why
it Game of
couldn't they
Thrones.
just stick with the guys who are like in the desert tribe and all that? Stick with those
That's
guys.
another big thing
The
where it's like,
Rohirrim or the Easterlings, yeah, they could have if they
Yeah.
wanted to.
yeah, where fucking
I
Tolkien
mean-
literally wrote, and it's even mentioned in Shadow of War, where it's like you have this whole, there's actually a DLC dedicated to it in Shadow of War,
Yep.
Yeah,
where you
there
have
is.
these whole Eastern peoples who live out in the desert, and there's very scarce amounts of lore on them. They could have
And
really
I think the
expanded
only lore we
on
have
them.
on them is from Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah. There's probably a couple mentions in the books. I haven't read the books yet.
They're mostly
But-
mentioned in passing, though. Like when Frodo
Yeah.
and Sam are like they're seeing them and they're seeing the Oliphants, like, and they're marching the way to Mordor. Like that's an example.
Okay, yeah.
And it's like, and you
Yeah.
did a description of one. If you watch the extended edition, it's the one that Boromir shot.
Yeah.
Right? Interesting.
But yeah, it's like I said, the Shadow or Shadow of Mordor is more canon to it.
In comparison to the
Yeah.
Amazon show, because they have an explanation. They have a better explanation when it comes to the race of one specific character, as opposed to Amazon show, which just disregards all of that.
If I remember correctly, the reason why he came over to Gondor was literally to get aid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I don't understand, like, if they wanted to have a show that was, largely
they should have just done
like,
it with the race of men.
casted, yeah. If they wanted to have a show where it was largely casted with, black actors, which is obviously what they wanted, why didn't they actually do something that, in lore represented like, their
Africa.
race, like the Easterlings,
They could
where
have, yeah.
you could have really done something actually pretty fucking good and compelling with that.
Oh yeah,
And then you realize it.
And fans would have been like all for it because, like I said, there's
it
hardly
would have
any
been more
on them.
lore.
And yeah, and it would have also been respectful and faithful to the established lore because, I mean, I don't even think until the Amazon show there was any like black dwarves or especially not
No.
black elves, right?
No.
Unless they're,
Because, like, I
you
know
could
the
only
elves
make
are
that
always
argument if they
described
were
as,
from like different regions and stuff like that. But here, it's just everyone's
I mean, there were
homogenized
dark-
because it was quite
there were dark
Tolkien
elves.
specifically wrote the like the world of Middle Earth specifically to be like European. It was supposed to be an
Yeah.
English
Yeah.
mythology. That's what he wrote
Yep.
down. You could theoretically make the argument that there are other ones that were non-white, but they wouldn't be like in Middle Earth. They will be like in like other regions, like the
Yeah.
very
So,
far
what?
eastern countries and stuff like that.
Fun fact: there are dark elves. Everyone just calls them Uruks.
Well, yeah, true. The orcs were actually like kind of cooked up by
Dark elves.
Sauron from
Melkor.
elves.
Melkor,
to be able-
actually.
to be as like dark elves.
Melkor, actually, but
Well, yeah.
It- Isn't that
They,
a
were- they, were,
proud-
they were elves.
Yeah,
They were
that's
the,
the thing.
They were just elves got corrupted, and then they became Uruks.
Yeah.
Isn't that like the same thing with drows? Kind of feels like that too.
Drows in actual D&D lore is very interesting because it's a matriarchal society where females are the ruling class and all that, and they follow a spider goddess, and the reason why they're being corrupted is because of the Underdark. The Underdark is this mysterious kind of living plane of the underground where fucked up shit happened. The reason why their skin is so dark is because it's a mutation genetic that they're doing. The higher of the anarchy of the Dark Elf society go, the more spider-like they become. To the point where it's a chick's body on a spider's ass.
Yep, seeing that.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess you could probably do something like that, but probably a bit more different. Like it's a completely different part of the elves that we haven't seen because maybe there was a split that would have happened between the various regions.
They could have done like the lore of the Dark Elves and the Uruks and how they got corrupted and all that.
They'll have
That
to do
would
the
have been
first
interesting.
stage. You'll have to go to the first stage because
Yeah,
you'll be
that-
covering Morgoth, and you'll have to explain his backstory, and you'll have to like go to the creation of everything, and they don't have the rights to that stuff.
Yeah, because they were too stupid to buy the rights to the thing that they actually wanted to cover.
Yeah, which was the
Also-
first stage, which was the creation of the rings.
No, it was actually around the second age-ish.
Yeah, well,
Because
the first
Sauron got Celebrimbor to make him.
Yeah.
Which is actually pretty
was
accurate.
And that's another thing about the show. Didn't they try to say that the dwarves made the rings?
No, Celebrimbor did.
Well, I mean,
Celebrimbor
in the
gave
Amazon
them,
He was in-
show.
like Sauron gave them the rings.
I heard something about it in the Amazon show. They were trying to say that some of the dwarves made some rings too.
The
Yeah,
people who
no.
made the Amazon show are idiots. I wouldn't recommend you listen to them at all because they're getting basic information wrong. I mean, they're getting information wrong. One of them said that Numenor was on an equator. That's not the case. There was actually a point where Middle Earth was flat, and around a point in time, it has turned into a sphere. It's turned to like an Earth.
So fun fact, the elves, irregular elves, they see the world flat.
Yeah.
That's how it originally was. That's how come they can look so far ahead and not drop in elevation. That's how come Legolas was such an excellent shot. It's because there was no drop of elevation for him.
Exactly.
He actually takes Gimli to the end of the world and all that, this forbidden part where they couldn't do it. Gimli's mind was fucking blown. It was like, this shit actually exists? It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for him, they just walked around the whole world and all that. But for Legolas, it was like, hey, no, this is the edge of the world.
Oh yeah, so did Bob. A good point. Tolkien and GRRM, or George R.R. Martin, both acknowledged that there were parts of their worlds that were unknown, quote unquote, or little was known about them. For reference, the two blue wizards that go east and are forgotten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Which,
barely
it would have been
mentioned.
cool as hell to actually expand on some of that unknown lore and actually like create some new and compelling stories about that and explore the the differences between these realms and Middle Earth. And I don't get why they didn't do that.
Because here's the thing. Because let me explain this. Because this is a pure statement on how how they want to do this sort of things for the quote unquote fans. They don't want to do it for the fans. They want to do it for the general audiences.
Yeah,
Because the more they can get,
They want to do it for the 1% of the people. Like, look, it's a bisexual black elf. Ooh, never been done before.
Well, yeah,
Well,
it contradicts a lot.
They try to shoehorn in that. But how it works with this, they want to do it that everything needs to be dumbed down. Everything needs to be in there in that series. No additional lore, no nothing. It's all there, all for you, or just immediately dump everything down. Because you don't want the people you're watching go and do something else. Because this is how a series should work for them. Just don't reference anything else. Don't leave any stone unturned. Tell them everything. so they have a clear mind about this,
Yeah,
like in Game
I
of
mean,
Thrones,
well,
like they did in that series.
the thing about I have about it is like nobody knew what the fuck Middle Earth was except for the diehard fans when the first Lord of the Rings movies came out. But that didn't stop them from making like really good stories and like really good like attention to detail and to the
Because they
lore and all
cared.
this and that because they cared. What
Yeah,
stopped them from doing the same with like I said like the eastern regions where you didn't even have to make it
excuses.
about Middle Earth. You could have references to stuff that happened in like the mainline films and the books and all that. But
Shitty
the whole like
excuses.
main thing would be like, yeah, we're gonna explore this part of the world of Tolkien or this part or whatever. And
Shitty
they could have even
excuses
had it
and just
set
lack of
in.
caring.
They could have even probably had it set in the Second Age.
Shitty excuses and lack of caring because this is just a cash cow. They just want to bring in the mullah because
Well,
it's the
yeah,
Lord of the Rings.
yeah,
It's
because
just about the money.
they wanna drift off or bank off the fact that like they have a whole bunch of recognizable things from Lord of the Rings instead of actually like focusing on making and telling a good story with the
Oh,
more there is.
those people don't exist anymore in this sort of environment. They are gone. They are rarer than diamonds encrusted in gold. They are rare. They are rare as that because people here are just doing it for the cash. They'll do whatever the fuck it takes to grab something and milk it dry until there's not
beating a dead
bone.
horse. They revived it with necromancy and they proceed to bludgeon it to death.
Yeah.
Again.
Sorted, it's like Star Wars. You create a vast universe of different cultures and places, but you start in some little Shire or Tatooine place, and people want to see it in every sequel. He also says, even though I'm pretty sure that conflicts with the timeline, it seems like a suitable ending that still fits thematically with the canon. I think he was replying to the thing I made about Shadow of War's ending on that second comment, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. And I haven't really played that one, so yeah.
I have played both. At the ending, Tyrion Talon gets corrupted by the ring and becomes like the head ring wraith and all that. And at the end,
Well, second in command,
like,
technically.
yeah, technically,
Witch King is the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It becomes like second in command. Because
Yeah, this is
every
and
single one of their asses.
yeah.
But yeah, and then at the end, it kind of skips forward in time to where Sauron gets defeated and the Eye of Terror gets collapsed. And you see like a little flash of Celebrimbor and Sauron still fighting in the Eye of Terror because earlier on, Celebrimbor like goes to fight Sauron and kind of gets fused into him.
Yeah.
But then after the Eye of Terror collapses and all that, then Aragorn. No, fuck. What's his name? The MC falls off his mount. Talion, yeah, Talion. He falls off his mount and dies because he ain't under the power of Sauron anymore. And he's also he was basically a dead man walking in the first place. So without any power on him, either Sauron's or Celebrimbor's, he just finally dies and gets his happy
No, I
ending.
did. If I remember correctly, he lives. Like he's alive.
No,
he's
because at the
walking
end of the
away at the
game-
end. It's clearly a symbolic of him just going to the afterlife. It's not literal.
Yeah.
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 Sorry. It's been
He
a while
has
since
finally
I
spun his teeth. He has no more strings attached.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
free.
Yeah.
Finally gets to rest
Yes.
and go see his waifu.
Basically. So anyway, about it, is there any other, adaptation or remake that have completely shitted on the original source material other than the
Well-
Lord of the Rings?
I mean, we could talk about Witcher again.
I wouldn't
No,
mind talking
we-
about Witcher.
Well,
Wow.
I don't know nothing about Witcher, and I never played the game, so I feel like I'd be left out of this.
Yeah. I mean, the games are they respect the source material well enough. They're
Yeah.
pretty good, but
Oh yeah.
there's also they also diverge a bit from it. But then you have Netflix Witcher, which completely Oh god,
It,
yeah. Let's
it
not
takes the
even get into
pages of
that.
the books and wipes its ass with them after taking massive shit on everything.
Yep.
And Henry
Basically,
Cavill's
yeah.
like, "Oh,
And Henry Cavill, poor Henry, man.
Poor Henry.
He tried to save it.
mhm."
What is that in the second season?
Yeah, second
Yeah,
season. We're talking about second season.
especially. Yeah.
Henry, he almost kind of warned us, honestly, because I remember him talking in a podcast. It was like maybe a year, 2 years ago, when they were getting season 2 ready. He kind of sounded disappointed talking to this guy, saying, "Yeah, well, they're taking kind of focus away from Witcher, and from Geralt, and they're focusing on these other characters."
Yeah, it's
Wow.
kind of sad to see. It's like watching all the Mark Hamill interviews when the sequel trilogy was coming out, where he was like blatantly saying like, yeah, I mean, in a way, like, yeah, he was blatantly warning people like, yeah,
He's Jake
these are gonna
Skywalker.
suck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not what a Jedi does. Yeah,
Well, yeah, it
I mean,
was
Mark
like,
is
remember
insane
one
in his own
comment-
right, but yeah, he is correct.
yeah, he was correct about that. Where, like, one comment in particular stood out to me where he was like, someone asks him like, what was his thoughts on the sequel trilogy? Like, what do you think of the new movies? I believe it's actually Rise of Skywalker. No, Last Jedi in particular. And
Yeah, he's like,
just
"Oh
answered
yeah, he
that with-
destroyed the sacred text." He's like, "A Jedi doesn't do that. He
No,
doesn't lose hope."
This was a different interview. It was like right there on like on the red carpet or whatever. And he just replies back with, "Well, it's long.
Yeah, I remember
Very
that one.
long
That was
movie."
it's a very long movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. He kept saying over and over again how to like in other interviews when he like, "Oh hey, what's your opinion on such and such?" Is like, I kept telling Ryan's like, "I disagree with everything you do with my character. I fundamentally disagree with everything you do with my character."
Yeah.
And he said that
It's like
several
it's
times.
actors like that I really feel bad for, because you know they're trying, you know they have passion for it and for the role, and that they genuinely want it to be good and to be loved by fans, and they
And
genuinely
JJ
try to keep it to where it's, you know, it's actual good material, but
Then
they
JJ comes around
can't do
and
enough,
just
and
tells
they
the
have no control over it.
Yeah,
yeah. Then JJ comes around and just basically tells everyone, "What's in the box? What could possibly be in the box?" And they just keep saying, "Well, waiting." Well, it's probably
JJ's been doing that since day one. JJ's been doing that since day one. That entire trilogy was mishandled like from the get-go. It's ridiculous,
It's because he
honestly.
wanted to pull the fucking trick. He's a one-trick pony. Just keep saying, "What's in the box? What could possibly be in the box?" Nothing.
Exactly.
You've been led astray, fooled, bamboozled,
Run amok.
flummoxed,
Yeah.
basically.
Like he
Yeah,
does
so
that in
he
his
has
shows. He does that. Yeah, like he starts off with, this is every single thing. Like he starts off with a simple question, he gets you hooked, and then when it comes time to answer that question, it is always disappointing, almost every time. And like Alias is an example of this, Lost is an example of this. Even though I like this film and this might be his best film, Mission Impossible 3 is an example of this, where the main the MacGuffin of the film, you don't know exactly what it is. I mean, you do see a biohazard on it, but it's never explained what it exactly is. It's just called the rabbit's foot. That's all it is. And none of the characters talk about what it is. None of the characters say what's it for. None of them really explain it, and it's never explained throughout the film. It's just Tom Cruise needs this thing, he wants this thing, he needs to get this thing. That's basically it.
Oh, and
He
apparently
has
there's
it wrong.
there's a Fallout show that's coming out. Trench said.
What?
Yes,
There's
that's
a
right.
Fallout.
Amazon's bought a few rights.
Yeah.
Fallout was one of them.
I believe
Oh,
It could be
God,
50-50,
yeah.
honestly. I mean, Reacher was good. Like, I've watched first 2 episodes, and hearing from other people who I trust, like, yeah, it's actually pretty good. So,
the
but
Fallout,
that's like,
What?
what?
the Fallout show.
No, Reacher,
Oh,
The
okay.
fuck's-
the Jack Reacher reboot.
What's that?
Oh yeah, that was a thing.
What's Jack Reacher?
Jack
Part
Reacher
of my-
is kind of like investigative, like it's based off of this book series of the same name by Lee Child. It's like this investigative, like drama series. Like each book is like its own little story. Like Jack Reacher's a former military cop detective, and like he's basically like the thinking's man's like tough guy. You know, there's like Arnold, Sylvester Stallone, you know, those types of characters. Well, Jack Reacher's built like that, but he's also very intelligent.
So
So
Giga Chad, in other words.
basically, yeah.
Damn. Okay. You got me hooked.
Yeah. It definitely seems like with like the decline of popularity with superhero films, because you know it's kind of one of those things where it's just like they can't keep making superhero films forever, and so they're trying to look for a new cow to milk, and it definitely looks like it's gonna be like video game adaptations, which oh boy.
That's 50-50. I honestly think that's kind of
Gonna include
50-50, honestly. That's a maybe.
Yeah.
This is really gonna make people hate everything again.
Video game
It's gonna be
adaptations.
Uwe Boll. It's gonna be Uwe Boll all over again. It's gonna be Uwe Boll again. It's gonna be fucking painful to live in it. Like, I could feel my bones crumple with such
At least
sensation.
Uwe Boll's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Still for a fucking artist like me, it's gonna feel like pain because no, it's not. There's that little part of me which is gonna be suffering because it's not this. Like, he's
Didn't
gonna
they
scream
already? Didn't they already have like a video game movie adaptation thing back in the day?
about of what?
Oh fuck, I'm trying to think. Well, I might be having it the other way around, where they made a lot of games based off of movies, like Bolt
Yeah,
or
Oh yeah.
Doom.
yeah, Doom.
Like, the first one has a bit of enjoyment. Like, actually, there's like that little bit of enjoyment. There's that scene where it was done in the first person view. That shit was fun.
Yeah.
Guys? Oh. Thought I
Alright.
cut down the volume for a second. Okay. But yeah, that scene alone could have been great. Like, imagine if they got again the Doom rights, but they called the guys who did Hardcore Henry do it again, but with Doom.
I mean, that would be interesting.
And the same thing with Harry. Guys fucking mute or only says like a handful of words.
Yeah, I can see that working, but
Yeah.
Honestly, that would be fucking awesome. Like, we already have lore, we already have everything, or if they just want to say fuck everything, follow the original one, where it's just Marine gets fucked around, thrown to Mars, demons invade, he goes down to hell, shit
actually,
like that happens.
he denied an order of his officer because he told his officer to go fuck himself because it was to shoot on civilians. He said no, so they reprimanded him, put him in like space jail and all that.
Did he also punch his officer in the face?
Yeah.
Like, Doom guy is the ultimate Giga Chad.
He is.
I mean, he went down to hell more than once, lived through it, and proceeded to rip and tear through hordes of demons without that much of a problem. Allegedly.
Oh no, he didn't do it once. He did it twice, in two separate
Right.
hells.
Yep. And all because
They
he
killed
told
his
him to
rabbit.
shoot. Yep. And told him to shoot civilians, but that's another thing. You know, that was because of a rabbit. This is the kind of classic shit that we need again. You know,
that'd be cool.
it's that kind of classic shit that we need. It's the same thing with Hardcore Henry. You know, it's like, he wakes up. Apparently he was dead. He has a wife. This dickbag steals it and has magic powers. He has to get him. Things happen along the way until he finally reaches it, and he kills him eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wish for people. It's not even about like a genre or like a type of movie thing anymore. I feel like the main problem is people just don't have that same kind of drive and passion and care for their material anymore. Like art, like in media and entertainment, is just kind of stagnated in this corporate muck for so long that it's people like very rarely do you see like actual like really good, really well thought out films and media anymore.
Yep.
At least my personal opinion. I mean, I don't know how you guys view it, but you know,
There are some diamonds in the rough. Like
yeah,
there are
oh
some,
definitely.
but but the word is there. Diamonds in the rough.
Yeah.
It speaks by itself. You know. So eventually, you're gonna
Yeah.
keep looking at and looking at until eventually you find a guy, like what's the name of the guy who did the Lighthouse movie and the Vivitch?
Oh, I would know.
Why do you say Vavitch? It's witch.
It's because it's two V's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pronounced Vitch.
It's the beach.
Vitch.
Fucking pronunciation, I don't care.
Do not go to the woods. It's the beach.
Yeah, so did hit the nail on the head. Film is rarely art, but more often mass-produced consumer products. At least these days. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, or at least this, just trying to tell a good story. Doesn't even need to be art. Just something to tell a story. Just tell it simply, do it nicely, and don't shit on it too much, okay?
Or I mean, even just knowing what you're doing with the material, where you can have a movie that's just pure dumb fun action, whatever bullshit, and it
That
can
was
still be
Hardcore
considered
Henry.
like really good.
That was Hardcore Henry. That was
Yeah.
John Wick.
Yeah.
You know, they
Right.
wanted to see Keanu Reeves shoot people. Hardcore
Yeah.
Henry just a guy fucking through Russia because he needs to get his girl back.
Yeah.
It wasn't even his girl in the first place.
Don't spoil, don't spoil it.
Anyway.
I want people to finally see him. And
Dude, that movie
You know.
came out when?
2015, I
gotta
think.
go,
2015,
I gotta go
2014, I don't
myself.
remember.
yeah, I'll be right back, bro. So anyway, that was the whole thing. And it all started from guys who did music videos for their band. Then it got big, and they started doing it just because they could. They had the passion, the drive, the
I think
will to
Fincher
do
was
it.
doing that, yeah. Fincher
They just
started
thought,
out making music videos. Yeah, you continue.
Yeah, and they basically just had that drive to continue to pursue, do something that'll just be fun. The same shit that happened with Nobody. You know, it's just same thing, a bit fun. It's just kind of relatable how a guy is just getting bored of everything, and he had a fun thing that he did in the past, dangerous, but he's doing it again because it's fun. You know, it's just sort of simple, dry, and to the point stories. You know, you don't have to do like in the usual heist movies with big names and big everything, how the stories are complicated. There's always a turn, there's always a twist, there's always a thing that has to happen during the story that breaks it and reshapes it again. You know what I mean? Lone?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, okay, I thought my internet just keeps down because y'all being real quiet, that's all. Say, I saw something on your server, like, are they trying to remake the fucking Prince of Bel-Air shit?
They already did,
Like, I saw some... When did that happen?
like, recently. It's up on Peacock. It's just called Bel Air.
Tell me, what
It's not
did they fuck up? Or at least, what's the biggest fuck up?
Well, it's a drama now, so in 2022,
Kill me now. Here's
focus
the gun.
on a young black kid, so at
Please pull the trigger.
post Summer of Love, so I think you have a few ideas of where it's going.
I crave death. I'm really imagining this. I crave death. I
So
saw
it's
the
a bunch of
clip of
black
the
teens
fucking.
now. Black gay
There
teens.
were really. Yeah, you know what
Alright,
I
I'm back.
seen? You saw it. You saw it on the channel too. How Jay Longbone basically just took these clips on how they said the N word. They said the N word, and Will
And
is like,
oh my
so
god.
what? It's a word. It's a word that black rappers use it to sell to these white ass kids, and they're not supposed to say it when they sing the lyrics.
It's like the
Like
funny thing. Carlton
that.
was right. Carlton was 100% right, and it's quite obvious the show's portraying him in the wrong. It's like I guarantee you that.
And they call him a sellout.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, it's just funny because in the original show, Will actually stick up with Carlton when he was called that in the original show.
Yeah.
I still remember that, like, that show sometimes can hit you hard. Like,
It really can.
I still remember that episode when he's talking about his dad and how he left and how, how he was saying how he had a good life without him, how he did everything by himself, and even without him, he's gonna have a nice college life, a nice family, he's gonna have a beautiful wife with a beautiful kid, a beautiful house.
Yeah.
How he just started to break
Being
down.
the father that he never had.
And there's nothing he can do about telling me how to raise my kids. Still, one of the most memorable lines from that show.
How come you don't want me, man?
How come you don't want me, man?
That literally just always says me a big hit here. Just, it's done so greatly. Just, I feel a tear running down my cheek when he just says that.
Oh my god,
10 out of
imagine if they made a Dark Souls movie or like show.
No.
Uh, oh.
Fact. This thought doesn't need to exist.
If it was
I mean-
if it was made by like A24 and if it was done by the guys who did The Green Knight, which is a really good movie by the way, I think it could work.
I need to watch that.
Watch it, it's really good.
It would also have to be something that FromSoft would have to be heavily a part of.
Yeah, it will definitely be. It wouldn't be that much story. It'll definitely be more somber. It'll be a lot. It'll be quiet. It'll mostly just see this knight just wandering those ruins of this one city and him just
even
fighting to get this one thing.
Or even like Bloodborne would be a great one where I remember seeing like some of the cinematic trailers for it and it just looks so fucking good.
I know. Don't get me started on Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Hey, since FromSoft is not part of Xbox, when are we gonna get to see it on PC finally? So the
Nope.
PS Flex.
You know
So
why?
PS
Because Sony owns the rights. Done.
God fucking damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sony
Oh, well.
owns the right to Bloodborne. Done. It is their exclusive. They paid for it.
Damn.
Oh well, guess we're going back to piracy again.
Eh.
What this gay shit?
Oh no, Sorted. Berserk produced by Funimation.
What was the original dub studio?
Oh god, no.
I crave death.
Yeah.
Like, speaking
Yeah.
of Berserk, going to better terms, have the guys, the guys who've been with Miura said anything?
I haven't seen anything yet. Well, I'll have to
No.
check up soon.
I know in the Elden Ring though, FromSoft made a nice little reference to Berserk where the Great Sword in Elden Ring,
Looks more like the sword.
it literally is like Guts' sword. They even in like the lore description it says it's like a big lump of iron, a heavy slab, it cuts through humans just as well as monsters. Like they fucking made it very obvious. Which I thought that was nice. I thought that was
If only
nice.
we had a similar armor, things could be great. Like, I know that we're just fanboying about Berserk, but Dark Souls 3 really feels like a huge homage to it.
It
Like-
kind of is.
You can clearly see it with the whole Eclipse thing. A lot of armor sets really look the part. The great sword there, it's basically just, it is really the most like thing they have. there's a clear armor indicated for guts in various eras. Uh, the fucking breaking wheels and the whole part with the whole Inquisition there, where some enemies just look like Mosgas.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Artorias the Artorias. Fuck.
The knight.
Yeah, Artorias. He's a reference to Berserk.
He's clearly just guts.
Basically,
Like-
full broken left arm, great sword one hand, has a wolf companion. It's just Artorias the Abyss Slayer. There we go.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
not to account
FromSoft
the-
has always made references to Berserk, which is, you know, I fucking love them for it. But yeah, Elden Ring, like, they especially went on with the little Berserk tribute reference there, which I thought that was really cool. I was glad to see it.
To remember a great man.
Yep.
We still miss. So yeah, I guess we're not gonna be here for about a few more years because we're probably getting the well. What you're saying? You were
Yeah,
singing
what
about
was-
something.
Oh, I was singing the fucking Gutsu.
Oh,
Okay. I mean,
don't-
I guess. I hope they're not. Yeah, I know that, but I didn't
Okay.
quite get it over me talking.
Gotcha. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyways, I was just saying that I hope they don't get too much cold feeted with what they're doing, or I hope they're just taking their time to make it perfect, quote unquote. To just at least get an idea and probably work on what I'm pretty damn sure is Miura's wills and whatever he wanted to the series to go onward.
Well,
Because
yeah, I
well-
know that Miura said, like, he left notes about how he wanted it to, like, wrap up and end.
Because Wally basically said it. We're basically really close to the end games. Casca is unpotatoed. Griffith is really getting on people's nerves. He got bitch slapped by Richter. That was my first introduction to Berserk when I got that volume at my local print store.
I really
Like-
need to get Berserk volumes.
Like, I was lucky it was there because apparently some people, I don't know how it ended, how those ended here, but still, that fucking scene where after now I know everything, it feels so good. How
Oh yeah.
Richter just struts up to him after he, the son of a bitch, invited him in his house. He just walks up to him, backhand, bitch slaps him, and just scolds him about what the fuck happened at the eclipse and how he was the guy who built the graves, that at least the memorial burial ground.
Yeah.
Got Casca, those two who survived. If only he knew, but still.
Yeah, I really get the Berserk series. I've just been watching Tal's vids on it, and I really need to get the book series.
I've been
Do it.
I've been
Read
trying to
the
grab
cancel
all of
log.
high school. I've been trying to grab all of high school DxD books.
Oh my god.
Why?
It's a great book series. Like, it's actually a very nice light novel. I have nearly all of them. No, well, there's 22, and I have 9 of them.
For me is that I'm trying to read the. I don't know. I mostly put Full Metal Alchemist on pause after I was done with the anime with Brotherhood, and now I'm trying to get into Soul Eater because goddamn that series is pretty damn good.
Yeah, Soul Eater's nice.
It's fucking nice, like the style, everything, so great.
Yeah.
I need to stream in a bit.
My first recommendation: go watch and read Soul Eater. It's fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of hate that the season kind of just stops at a very rational point.
Anime only. It goes anime only ending. Yeah.
Maybe because it was still the problem of those animes, like it was in the original Full Metal
They
Alchemist.
were, if I remember correctly, they were losing funding. Like, straight up. They were about to lose all their funding. So they said, fuck it, we're doing this.
Either that or nothing. And it's either that or nothing. So take it or leave it.
In general, I just want to see more people, like, especially just, I guess, like, more independent, non-corporate people just kind of coming out and making, like, really good work.
Well, that's
Because, I mean, that's really, like, the best stuff that I've seen nowadays. It's mostly from, like, smaller groups of people, almost like indie devs and stuff like that, where they
Dealing with
seem to
hard
have
work,
the most
honestly.
passion and soul when it comes to the work.
Even fucking fan works, because that's
Yeah.
honestly where in the fandoms, that's where the best thing just come out.
Well, yeah, like with
What?
40K, before Games Workshop did their dumbass policies, you had stuff like
Remember,
Astartes or
did by
like the
one
Raptor,
fucking
or I mean, there's a ton
you-
of stuff.
text to speech. Oh, this was
Text
probably
to
one of the
speech.
funniest things, and a great gateway drug to 40K,
Very
and
much
especially
so.
Astartes.
Like-
Especially Astartes. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
done all by one guy in a
Literally-
basement.
I knew nothing about like 40K until I ended up seeing Astartes and then getting into text to speech. And that was literally what got me into 40K.
For me, it was more text to speech. Then I discovered Astartes, and holy shit, this is great.
Yeah. Like Astartes was like the holy shit, this is badass and metal as fuck side of it. And text to speech was like, holy shit, this lore is fucking hilarious.
It's both grim and absolutely out of this world.
Yeah, like Astartes, to put it in this way, Astartes was like, Astartes was the thing like that had the cool factor and like the whoa, this is really cool, I want to check this out a bit more. And then text to speech was like kind of the gateway drug into the actual like in-depth lore shit, where you know, like the jokes by themselves are funny as fuck, but then you kind of want to read into the lore a bit more, and you actually get a pretty decent understanding of the lore from text to speech. And it's just, yeah, it was fucking great, and I still can't believe GW was so fucking stupid with how they handled it.
I give it
I will-
like another year, and probably we'll go back as things as usual. Perhaps they're
Hope-
dumb.
I will say though, to anyone who doesn't know, the Buva Alvafusa, or however his name is pronounced,
Albafossa.
the guy who did text to speech, he is making a new little series. It's basically about like a bunch of monster hunters. It's also basically the same exact like main cast of characters from text to speech, but
We have
they just look different. They literally make references to text to speech. But yeah, they're basically all the same like character archetypes, and they all act the same.
we have
But they're like
we have the
monster hunters.
Emperor. We have the Emperor, the Magnus, the Kitten Banana Boy, the Dorn, and the Boy.
The
That's
boy.
basically it.
The boys. It's the boys.
Boy.
Don't start it.
I fucking love
Right.
Dorn in that though.
Warhammer Lord's fucking hilarious.
It is.
What?
Warhammer lore, like the things with the orcs and all that. So basically, they have this inert ability where if they think it, it happens, right? So if a bunch of orcs
wait,
get
hold
together, if a bunch of orcs get together and think, we can breathe in space, they can breathe in space.
Yeah.
They believe that guy is fucking invincible because he can kill a war boss.
There's a theory going around that the Emperor is still alive because the orcs believe he's still alive.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. They have this like psychic ability granted them, like basically the 40K equivalent of like the old ones. Where they have psychic influence over reality via the warp.
Yeah.
They
It's
aren't
not, they don't have influence because of the warp. It is an inert ability that they're granted. Done. It doesn't matter because
Oh.
they got it from the corpse.
Oh yeah.
The
Okay.
precursor of the orcs, and just think a bigger, badder, greener orc that's actually intelligent and know what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
basically,
that's
they're
cool.
able to warp reality. Done. Doesn't matter where it is. Doesn't matter if it's from the warp. It's they're warping reality. If they say, "Hey, did you fill up the tank on the car?" I filled it up. It's filled up. Done.
Yeah, pretty much. As literally as long as enough orcs believe in it, it will become reality. Um,
Also, I
but
need to
there's
remind you
a
all.
there's a very widespread and fucking hilarious story I want to tell about the orcs real quick before we get on to another subject. Um,
I'm trying to
are
guess what
any
it
of
is.
you familiar with the "I'm a tank" story?
Yeah, I know that. I know that damn well.
Yeah, where basically,
A
orcs
bunch
are in a
of
big
Marines.
battle with a bunch of guardsmen, and the orcs are just flooding the guardsmen's defenses wave after wave.
The guardsmen were
Eventually,
losing ammunition. They were completely dried, so they started yelling "bang, bang, bang," shooting with their guns and all that. A bunch of orcs started dying, falling over dead, and all that. They didn't believe they were being shot at, so they were being shot at.
yeah,
And then
and
so there was a bunch of guardsmen running around going, "I'm a tank, I'm a tank, I'm a tank."
no, it wasn't the guardsmen. It was the orcs. A bunch of
Oh,
orcs
yeah.
got together. Oh wait, was it the guards? No, it was the
It was
orcs.
the guardsmen. It was the guardsmen because a bunch of orcs were being exploded, flying up in the air.
Oh wait, was it the guardsmen?
It was the guardsmen going running around. I'm a tank. I'm a tank. Everyone thought it was the.
Oh my god.
It's even funnier because there's an orc who was traveling through the warp, and they fucked up. So they stayed in the same position, but they traveled back in the past, boarded themselves, and the main guy killed himself so he can have favor of his two guns, because that's badass and that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Because
orc ended up
they're
accidentally
so
traveling back in time to kill himself so he could have a second version
Fucking
of
gun.
his favorite.
It was his favorite gun. And you're trying to explain paradoxes, tell them that to an orc who says, "I went back in time, killed myself, now I have two guns, so I can DACA twice as hard."
But
You
yeah,
want-
it's fucking great. And to anyone who's watching, if you want a podcast that actually goes on about 40k shit, I would recommend Adeptus Ridiculous. They cover it
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
but here's my little tangent about the quirks and everything. I'm just saying, you remember the war in heaven? When it happened millions of years ago, before humanity was even a thing? There was shit there that was literally god level that if it happened in this setting, it would shake things up. Like a single Eldar warpsmith or something like that would go into the warp easily and just kick Slaaneish's butt, non-sexual. Like it would cast her down and just
Okay.
laugh at it.
Trench said no, it was the orcs that did the I'm a tank thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy, we're gonna have.
Which, yeah, I
Like-
thought it was the orcs. Because, like, yeah,
Anyway.
to retaliate against the guardsmen, they all just grouped together and, like, piled onto each other and started moving as one, saying, "I'm a tank, I'm a tank, I'm a tank, I'm a tank." But yeah, anyway, before we get too deep into the fucking 40k lore rabbit hole,
No,
because
just
fucking
the
Will-
orcs. Just the orcs. No, we're just talking about the orcs because the orcs are the most funniest thing ever.
Yeah,
We're gonna talk about the fucking war on heaven later, because
yeah.
I'm
'Cause
just
if
saying-
we start talking about 40k now, the rest of the podcast will just be 40k.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And Lone doesn't want that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what have been moderating
another
chat?
podcast. We can drift off Adeptus Ridiculous another day.
Perhaps.
Well, I could talk about the times of my D&D stories with my characters and all that, or the time I nearly died at least 8 times.
Yeah.
Same here. I could probably do the same shit here too.
Yeah.
Like, let me give you a preview. I've been impaled by rebar. I've been shot at. I've been almost struck by lightning, and I almost drowned in the Atlantic Ocean.
Nice.
Damn. Okay.
That's like I'm in Lolly's Discord server. If you notice, I changed my name to the Unkillable Wee because I was telling them about the shit I've done and all that. I was like, Jesus Christ, how are you not dead? And I was like, I don't fucking know.
I mean, I almost drowned when I was a kid because I got swept away by Undertow in a spring. It was like a river leading to a spring. I got swept under by the Undertow, Literally, just my hand was above the water, like in the fucking movies and shit. I had one
Well,
hand
for me-
above the water, the rest of me was being swept under the water. And my dad got to me just in time to pick me up and get me out.
I swam past the reef in Honolulu, Hawaii when I was 11.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I think it was only because once I, yeah, I'm gonna say it. Once because I couldn't pee.
Okay, hold on. Trench. Your horny arc admitted you read DXD for the booba. I don't even know what the fuck DXD is.
And the Etchy series with all the demon girls.
Dragon X Diablo. It's. I have the light novel, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's something for,
Hi. He was directing it to me.
yeah.
Yes, I read it for the boobas. Yes, boobas are nice. I like the boobas. I also like the thighs.
Yep.
Wait, Thomas is here.
Probably not
yeah.
going to be streaming that much longer anyway, so might keep this on for maybe like a couple more minutes, maybe 10, maybe 15 more minutes.
Yeah, like I said.
because they keep this shit in around 2 hours. That's more manageable for you to edit.
I'm drinking anyway, so it's
Yeah.
probably best we wrap this up soon.
So I was talking to my mom about stuff, right? And she's like, "Oh yeah, when I was like 6-year-old, I apparently went under surgery for hernia removal. I don't understand how I got it, but apparently the doctors didn't need to knock me out. I recovered within a week after that surgery."
Damn.
It's good to see you, gentlemen.
Hey Thomas.
Hey.
So up Dallas? I don't believe we've ever actually formally met, unless I have amnesia, which I probably it's possible.
We have never met in the history of my existence.
Okay, howdy, nice to meet you. Great.
Well,
having
for
you.
As far as you're concerned,
You too.
oh my God, he's becoming sentient. Quick, destroy the AI.
Well,
Reminds
Wow.
me, my fucking
Oh yeah.
my mom made a
Vinny?
joke. Oh, sorry.
no, I wanted to say my story that I couldn't pee when I was 3 years old, because we were talking about being little and having surgeries. For me, it was that I basically couldn't pee when I was 3 years old.
Oh, I almost killed myself on my 7th birthday. That counts as a surgery.
How did you do that?
Oh well, I was 7, and my grandma had like a mixer kind of like blender kind of thing with like a spiral blade thing to it. Anyways,
Oh.
on my 7th birthday, I picked the thing up, dropped it on my foot. I still have the scar, and I was bleeding out everywhere. I was like, it'll just heal, even though there's blood everywhere on the floor. And I was too embarrassed to go to my mom, and they started looking for me, and then we all realized, oh, Thomas is bleeding. Let's get him some help. So yeah, that's what happened.
I couldn't after that. After the AI kind of took over you for a second.
Yeah.
He said, and then I was bleeding, and then went, but you, and that's how I survived. And I was like, okay, keep your secrets.
You're still dead. Well,
yeah.
Well,
So-
for me, it's
Fuck.
because yeah, sorry.
interrupting,
I
I'm
finally
sorry.
have to tell it. For me, it's because my foreskin closed completely because doctors didn't check if I had phimosis, so I basically couldn't pee at all.
Oy vey.
I basically had to
Not too
immediately
close to the
took me
mic,
to the
please.
hospital, schedule me for
circumcised like
Oy
they
vey,
should be,
get
man.
the circumcision going.
Oh,
Alright,
fuck,
guys, I gotta start heading out. I gotta go get lunch and dinner.
Alright, see you, Vincent.
Stay here. You belong with
Talk
us.
to you guys later.
See ya, man.
I'm Metal Gear Solid 2 rat. Yeah. Oh, okay, so
Well, no, I didn't get circumcised because my parents were against it. That was more like a last-ditch effort if this happens another time. Which it didn't.
then we gotta cut it.
What?
No, never mind. I didn't hear you right.
Yeah, I didn't got circumcised. They did like a small surgery to reopen it again. But the big thing is, when they tried to put me, when they tried to do this, they simply thought, just give him a local anesthesia, he'll be fine. Unfortunately, they didn't know they were dealing with a fucking Asperger riddled kid. So I started to freak the fuck out.
Oh boy.
I immediately just didn't know what the fuck was going on because there were all these people going around with sharp things. I don't know what else happened because I felt pain, even just a little prick. I immediately just started running the fuck away I immediately bolted out of the surgery room. They got me once, I broke out. They got me twice, I broke out again. It took 7 doctors to hold me down and just gas me. They just used nitrous.
When you're a kid, a similar
What do you
thing happened
think?
to me, but it was over like a blood thing. Like,
And
you know when you like go to a
I was
certified
only
doctor?
3 years old. I was only 3 years old.
Dude, I was like 5, and I told my mom I hated her when that happened.
So wait,
That,
Wait.
that
when you said a little prick, do you mean like they just poked a little hole to open it up?
I don't know. I don't know if I felt anything, but probably I just started to freak out because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. So I just probably
I mean,
probably ran away.
yeah,
What?
if someone was poking a hole at the top at the tip of my dick, I'd be freaking out too.
Yeah, me too, dude. I'd be like, no, don't.
And
Oh,
and that's
God, that
probably
Ugh. Oh god, that must have been a mess too. Oh fuck.
and most importantly, after all this, I had to go to a doctor to constantly get checked out and kept my skin to making sure it didn't happen again. And maybe that's why I had a chronic fear. I probably have a semi-chronic fear of doctors. Like every time
Is that you eat apples every day because you heard the saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, and then you just eat all the apples?
The doctors poked a hole in my pee-pee. I'm scared.
It's not even the first time I had to do with some horrendous shit with doctors because then I also get to get some evaluation because they said that I wasn't right. So also every morning when I got to another hospital or a psychiatric ward, they had to constantly get blood checks from me every morning. So every morning for me was just get up, kid. Time to let some blood out.
They cut your wrists open again.
Jesus.
I was I wasn't
Well-
cutting my wrist open. It was just a fucking.
I know,
Now,
And that,
but
when I was little, my family dog, because the thing that was, I was like, I don't know, 3, 4 maybe, and they had a rescue, and of course we lived in Florida at the time, so it was a rescue from a dog fighting ring. Basically, it wasn't like a pit bull.
why?
It was like I forget the exact breed.
Doberman.
I think it was like a lab mix of some sort.
A Doberman and like a German Shepherd or something?
No, like a lab mix. I
Oh,
forget
fair.
what breed though.
Like a
exactly.
genetic engineered.
Sorta. It was just kind of like a mutt, like a mishmash of different breeds, I guess.
Oh, so they
Um,
mix. So they. Oh dang, we're getting. That's like a something like straight out of Metal Gear Solid.
I guess, but or it could be like a Labrador mix. I'm not too sure, but anyway, it was basically dog for these dog fighting rings where pit bulls would basically fight it, and it wouldn't really be able to fight back all that much. But it was basically to get pit bulls to be used to fighting other dogs, and it was a rescue, and it was she was traumatized, of course.
Let me
And-
guess, she bit your hand. She bit your dick off in the middle of the night.
No, my dad had the bright idea of, well, let's take our 3-year-old son and just throw him in a room with her. nothing bad could happen with that, even though his dog has never encountered a small child in its life.
Did it think
my
that you were
mom,
food?
no, my mom highly advised against it, and they ended up doing it anyway. So, me being just a little kid, I thought, "Oh, cute puppy," and started immediately going towards it. And you gotta consider from the dog's point of view, they're seeing some weird little creature running up to them with its weird little sausage fingers, trying to go up and pet it or like touch it and grab it. So it, of course, got pretty freaked out, and it ended up biting me like right in the face, right under the eye, like my right eye.
Fuck.
It almost got the eye, but like one of its fangs like dug like right into like right under my eye there, and I started bleeding all over the
You
place.
got the
My mom quickly got me up and took me to the bathroom, cleaned up the cut, made sure everything was okay and all that. But
and
I
then
still
your
have the
parents
scar
got
to
a
this day.
divorce.
Funnily enough, yeah,
that
a
was-
couple years later they did.
Oh gosh.
That
Yeah,
was pretty stupid of your dad to be considered.
Predicted that.
it was extremely stupid of my dad. Yeah.
Like, come on, dude. Like, you're not
Yeah.
supposed to do that.
That was retarded.
At
My
least
dad-
you-
He knows some of his stuff, but he's never been the brightest tool in the shed.
I don't
when it comes to
that,
common
dude.
sense.
Like,
Is
you
that how
don't do
you
that.
wanted
You don't
him?
do that. You don't know anything if you're gonna leave like a little kid with a little dog who hasn't had any like training or any like haven't been used
Yeah,
to
like-
like people like that. You don't just leave
like
your
I
kid
said,
with that.
He has zero common sense.
Kind of like
Um,
me.
Well,
So-
for my son, I never had any drug problem, but my mother did. You wanna know why? Because she was
Why?
a
'Cause
chronic.
it was an-
What?
What?
He has the
Oh.
a chronic what?
Oh, she had a chronic fear with dogs after what happened, because
Oh, let me guess. Oh my gosh. Remember the Thanksgiving stream where Wally and Sugar were talking about their movie, the Scarlett Johansson and dog
The
imagery?
dog
Just like
pill.
same in my
Nothing to
head.
do with-
even worse than that,
It
even
was
worse.
getting worse.
She got so okay. She was there with my great grandpa, just taking her out because gotta let a kid out, buy you a treat, just walk around with your grandpa, and just sitting there watching the play on the TV with the others at a cafe, and she was just on the street, I don't know, just walking around. And there was this crazy ass lady that probably she said about because she had a rabid dog, and just she was just letting it loose.
Oh,
And then saw my mom, this kid, and bite her in the leg. Of course, she was freaked out about what happened.
yeah.
Of course, she went down, but most importantly, she had to take anti-rabbit shot, which not only they were painful as fuck, she also
What,
had
you
night.
mean rabies?
Oh yeah, the dog had rabies.
Yep, dog was
Yikes.
rabid.
Fuck.
Not only she had to deal with probably an infection and rabies, she had to take those shots, which she said she was painful as fuck. But she also had to deal with nightmares, like genuine nightmares of how she was
If
chased
your
by
mom
dogs.
went to Silent Hill, it would be nothing but just the dogs.
I actually, when I was younger, like really little, I actually had a nightmare about a dog. Except like I was strapped up to a metal slab, like table, like kind of like one of those little torture slabs.
Oh,
You know,
mean like
tapped
yeah,
into
you
it,
mean
and then
like
it's
if
like-
it's a bad ending in Silent Hill Origins?
Yeah, it was like there was this like dark cloaked figure. It was all wicked looking, and he held up this like chihuahua to my face, and it was like snarling and barking and all this stuff, and I was like all scared by it and shit.
Well,
But anyway,
for
that
me-
to go
well,
back
for
to
me,
the
it was
story.
me.
I
Yeah,
saw.
my mom.
Oh boy. We always overlap each other.
Apparently, because we're the more talkative ones. So anyway,
Me and
Anyway, yeah,
Ron
my-
just gonna hang out in the not talking club.
yes. So
Yeah.
of course, my mom had to endure all this. She was always kind of scared by dogs. Like, there's a knee-jerk reaction of just having that knee-jerk reaction because dogs after what happened. But she also has pity for them because my uncle her older brother just mistreat a dog to shit because just kept him on a short did and only just feeded him leftovers.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah,
I never
because
had bad dog memories other than when my first family dog, Fonzie, died. I literally was right by him when he died. He was like shaking. I was like, no, no. And then he died, and I was like, why?
No. But yeah,
Yeah,
Alex, for that story, that is one situation where I would actually hope they went ahead and euthanized that dog, because if it had rabies, I mean, at that
There ain't
point,
pretty
no
sure
going
they
back.
did.
like,
Pretty sure
at
they
that
did
point,
that.
it would be a mercy. Because
It would be
rabies
a
really
mercy.
fucks up the mind of an animal like that.
Imagine if like there were, oh gosh, imagine if like there was like a group of like crazy bums in the middle of the woods, like in New Hampshire or somewhere, that have rabies and are addicted to crack. Imagine if that's the thing.
No, not even crack, bath salts. Imagine
Bath
combining
salts.
bath salts and rabies.
Oh my gosh, it would be like legit, like it'd be like something out of Berserk or something.
It'd be like a legit fucking like zombie, like a demon
It'd be
zombie.
like a zombie.
I'm
It'd
like,
be a
dude,
zombie that would not hesitate to eat you.
Skinwalkers. They need to eat the flesh of the fallen angels.
yeah.
The
Jesus
flesh of the
Christ.
fallen angels. Speaking of Evangelion,
Oh my
No,
gosh.
that was a Max
No, no.
Payne reference. The same.
oh, I almost got Max Payne, but my dad said no. It was the
I
second
played
game.
I played Max Payne with my dad when I was like 5, 6 years old.
Oh,
Because
my
yeah,
dad, my dad got pissed when I bought Devil May Cry without him knowing, and he
My-
didn't like that.
Oh,
my parents were very chill about me trying having video games. They just said, have good votes and we'll get you something.
I
Which
hope
kind of
you,
pushed me to do.
I hope you
Your
look
mom and dad
straight
only let you
eyes.
have the good stuff.
For my computer, when I got there, I was only playing Flash games, and Need for Speed Most Wanted, but I was shit at it.
Oh,
Tom,
my dad got me Metal Gear Solid 2.
Tom, when he got mad over Devil May Cry, I hope you looked him dead in the eyes and said, "Foolishness, Dad. Foolishness."
I should have, but I just kind of looked at them. I looked at them and I was like, man, you're acting really retarded, Dad.
That works.
I
too.
didn't say that, but I was thinking, oh my gosh, Dad, please, calm down. But he
Well,
gave me Metal Gear Solid 2, so it balances things out, kind of.
Yeah, I guess. Well, for
Yeah.
me, okay, what I had? I've had the Max Payne on my dad's computer where I played it once or twice. I played Need for Speed on his computer. I had a PlayStation where I mostly just played Dragon Ball games and that Crash to Insanity game. Yeah, I mostly played Dragon Ball games because those were fun as fuck.
I'm in the minority of anime connoisseurs who don't really like Dragon Ball.
I can understand that. I
Actually,
don't
It's
really
only
love
because one kid at my school was like a big Dragon Ball fan, and he literally wore like a Dragon Ball jacket every day. He sounded annoying, like Link with a gravellier voice.
you're kind
You
of
would
going
not
robot mode
believe-
there for a bit.
Oh, well, there was this kid at my school who like was basically obsessed with Dragon Ball, and he sounded like Linkara, but like gravelier.
Oh
Punish
god.
Linkara.
Oh
Yeah, his name was Angelus. That's why I can never get into Dragon Ball because of him. Instead, I got into Naruto and then became retarded and joined the special needs class.
I finally got around to watching like the first couple episodes of Dragon Ball Z. Not too long ago. I finally had like a little bit of time on my hands, and some of my buddies were watching it, so I decided to join them. And I gotta say it's pretty fun.
I think I watched that show around 2 times because both that one time the original and one time almost all of GT, because this thing was played on TV, not on streaming. TV. Because back in the day, Dragon Ball was fucking popular. It was always playing during lunchtime.
Oh yeah,
You know? Because
yeah.
here in Italy,
I think I've actually seen like episodes of it like on TV. Like sometimes they're even on Fox.
Well, yeah, it was up there with like the original Transformers show, where it was like almost always on, like whatever network it aired on.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Sometimes
think
it did come
JoJo's
on.
becoming like the new Dragon Ball, like the new generation.
Kind of,
Oh, you
yeah,
mean
in a way. It's the closest thing we've got to
What'd you
like
say?
a new Dragon Ball.
You mean Super?
Because like it's like expanding in like popularity and like everyone loves it. And then
Yeah.
there's like a group of people in 2018 who are like, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure sucks. I'm like, you've clearly never even watched it.
Or just the most
Yeah, you've
popular.
never even read the manga book.
Granted, I actually haven't watched or read the manga myself. I am like a fully uncultured swine.
I am the anime
Robot mode.
because
Yeah, Thomas, you're breaking up again. Fucking Discord.
Yeah.
Dang it, Distord, you failed me once again. My back.
You have failed me for the last time.
Release Discord and then instantly reinstalls it.
Have you tried turning it on and off and back on again?
Don't you try to turn it on and off?
Yes.
My God, you're going super
Alright,
robot mode. Like,
You're gonna have to shut this off, guys. Hopefully, we'll go a bit longer next time.
Yeah, it's
So,
about that time.
Yeah, it's about that time.
I could just like,
Well,
Well,
thank you
well,
everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And
I hope you all sleep tight knowing that I exist.